Can your smartphone diagnose a heart attack? Well, no, absolutely not. But before you write it off, what that little device in your pocket can actually do for your cardiovascular health, it's fascinating, and it is literally changing the game for personal health monitoring.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into Samsung's AI cardiac sensing tech. We're going to look at the hard clinical data, understand the medical consensus, and really figure out where the hype meets reality when it comes to smartphone heart monitoring.
Here's our roadmap for today. We'll hit the concept of the pocket heart monitor, how the sensors actually pull this off, the real-world evidence, the crucial safety limits you absolutely need to know, and finally, exactly who should and shouldn't be using this tool.
All right, Section 1, the pocket heart monitor. We are living in this wild era where everyday devices are turning into incredibly sophisticated health tools. To really wrap your head around what Samsung is doing here, I want you to think of your phone as a hypersensitive digital stethoscope. But instead of a doctor listening to the acoustic sound of your heartbeat, the phone is actually capturing the microscopic mechanical motions of your chest wall. It takes those tiny vibrations and translates them into data for an AI algorithm to analyze.
Moving right along to Section 2, how the sensors work.
Okay, so how does it actually do this? It comes down to a giant word, seismocardiography. I know, it sounds like we're measuring earthquakes, and in a way we kind of are, just microearthquakes in your chest. Your phone already has these microelectromechanical sensors, or MEMS. These are literally the exact same gyroscopes and accelerometers that flip your screen when you turn your phone sideways. Samsung just figured out how to leverage those existing sensors to detect these super subtle chest vibrations caused by your heart pumping blood. Now pair that mechanical data with something called photoplethysmography, or PPG for short. This is the optical side of things. It uses light to track blood volume changes in your capillaries. So you've got the optical light data tracking your rhythm, combined with the mechanical gyroscope data tracking vibrations. Put them together, and the app gets a stunningly clear picture of your cardiac motion. And the actual workflow for the user, it is so incredibly simple. There's no complex wiring at all. You just open the Samsung Health Monitor app, lie back, place the phone flat against your upper chest, right over the sternum, and just breathe normally for 2 minutes. That's it. And get this, over 99% of these recordings grow a high enough signal quality to actually be analyzed.
Let's look at the data in Section 3, real benefits and evidence.
Because look, this isn't just slick tech marketing, it is backed by serious, peer-reviewed data. Take the Reflex Multicenter trial, which was recently published in JACC Heart Failure. They evaluated over 1,000 participants to see if smartphone seismocardiography could legitimately spot heart failure. And here is the number you really need to pay attention to, 89%. The study found that by using just the gyroscope data from a smartphone, the algorithm achieved an 89% accuracy rate in distinguishing heart failure patients from the healthy control group. I mean, 89% accuracy from the exact same device you use to scroll through social media. That is astonishing. Dr. Francois Haddad from Stanford University, who led the Reflex study, said it perfectly. He noted that smartphone-based cardiac motion analysis represents a meaningful step toward accessible screening. Think about the possibilities here for point-of-care screening in places that just don't have access to advanced medical equipment.
And the broader ripple effect of that accessibility is massive. For example, the FDA has actually cleared algorithms on the Samsung Health Monitor for detecting irregular heart rhythms that suggest AFib, atrial fibrillation. Now, AFib increases your stroke risk 5-fold, but so many people don't even have symptoms. Catching AFib early through a smartphone alert could prevent a stroke, which studies estimate saves around $140,000 in acute medical care costs alone. And that's not even mentioning the immeasurable value of preserving someone's quality of life.
But let's get real for a second in Section 4, crucial safety and limitations. With great tech comes essential responsibility, right? We have to be crystal clear about what this software is and, more importantly, what it isn't. I love this analogy from Dr. Sarah Mitchell at the Mayo Clinic. She tells her patients that these tools are like a smoke detector. They are fantastic for alerting you to potential issues, but a firefighter, as in your actual cardiologist, still needs to show up and assess the situation.
So on one side, you have what this actually is. An FDA-cleared screening tool for wellness and early awareness. It's software as a medical device for specific groups. But on the flip side, it is absolutely not a diagnostic replacement. It cannot detect a heart attack, and an absence of an alert does not 100% guarantee that you are perfectly healthy.
Which means if you are experiencing actual acute symptoms, chest pain, pressure, shortness of breath while just resting, fainting, or a wildly fast heartbeat accompanied by dizziness, do not lie down for a 2-minute smartphone scan. That is not the time for an app. You bypass the phone entirely and call emergency services immediately. Safety absolutely has to come first.
All right, final part. Section 5. Who should use this?
Based on the regulatory clearances and the trial data, who is this actually built for? The ideal candidates are adults 22 and older. It's particularly useful if you have risk factors for AFib, like hypertension, or if you're over the age of 65. It's also a really solid supplemental monitoring tool for patients who already have stable heart failure and just want to keep a closer eye on things, assuming they have their doctor's approval.
But pay attention to the clear exclusion criteria here. The FDA specifically notes this is not validated for users under 22. It is also not for people with known arrhythmias other than AFib. And this is crucial. If you have a pacemaker showing more than 1% paced rhythm, this is a no-go. The electrical activity from a pacemaker will literally interfere with the sensor readings.
Okay, so what happens if the app actually flags something? The pro tip here is to stay calm and document everything. Note the time of the alert, any symptoms you might be feeling, and your activity level. Save the PDF report the app generates, and then take that data straight to your doctor. Remember the analogy. You gotta call the firefighter to interpret the smoke detector's alarm.
Which brings us to our final thought. The line between our everyday consumer electronics and actual medical devices is blurring at an incredible speed. As our smartphones evolve into these highly sensitive, AI-powered health monitors, the real question is, are you ready to carry a digital smoke detector for your heart right in your pocket? It's a fascinating leap forward in proactive health, provided we use it smartly and safely. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.